I can just watch that over and over.
Me too, right? It's like a movie.
Our friend Dr. Sky is here.
And
good to see
morning.
you.
Good to
Back
see you.
from a really cool trip.
Wow.
That trumps any vacation any of us have
knocked it out
recently
of the
taken.
park. We flew on this SOFIA, the
Yeah.
NASA aircraft. We flew for about 10 hours as we flew up to the Aleutian Islands. And this telescope, just so everybody knows, and you can maybe get a better picture of seeing what it looks like.
You need to go wide. This is a flying observatory.
This is a flying
I didn't even know it
observatory
existed. It's like a 747, right?
Absolutely.
With a huge telescope on it.
It's amazing. And in the back of the telescope, it has, in the back of the aircraft, I should say, it has this amazing 100-inch telescope. So you may wonder, why did the passengers not get sucked out of the aircraft? Well, it's a separate containment area. They spent about $1 billion on this particular airplane. But what does it do? So the taxpayers know. You get to see from about 43,000 feet this most amazing view in what they observe in the infrared, in the thermal area where most people can't see. So our mission, we took off from near Edwards Air Force Base, flew about 10 hours, as you can see here on the screen. What an honor to do this by invitation. And our job as journalists was to cover this. But the objects that we were observing in the sky, the star Betelgeuse, a red supergiant, stars in the Orion Nebula, how stars are actually born, they're searching for extraterrestrial life in the most simplistic way. But what's really fascinating about this particular trip, lucky for us, was sponsored by a local company called Cheney's Collision Centers. And their involvement with us continues to grow, but we're so proud that we're able to do this. And the bottom line is, at this early hour, is all the great science that both of you, I'm sure, didn't even know that goes on with NASA.
No, so
behind the scenes.
They're looking for, you said, extraterrestrial life.
Right.
Do they also look at climate things, or is this just going like way out deep into space?
Well, they're looking deep into space. We're looking at objects that are literally hundreds of millions of light years away, or even as close as some of the planets. But what I find, as you see on the screen, the amazing, impeccable aircraft. I mean, that looks like it's as well maintained as like an Air Force One.
Yeah.
And every nuance. We have to give a nice shout out to the crew there, and also the mechanics and the people that work on the aircraft. I mean, they're just amazing. What an amazing team, as you can see here, with the things that they do. But it was a great flight, about 10 hours. We left that area near Edwards Air Force Base, flew all the way up to the Aleutian Islands, which is kind of unusual. I've never been up that far north. The sighting of the Northern Lights was supposed to happen that night, but we didn't see that. But people should know, once again, the great science that's done on this particular airplane. I understand that they're funded all the way into, like, maybe into the early 20s.
Why
So
is
they'll
this better
continue
than,
to do that, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, why is this better than something on the ground?
Well, because you're getting, a very good question, Troy. You're getting above what they call the atmospheric layer here, and we go up about 43,000 feet. In the infrared, they need to get away from the water vapor. So the water vapor is pretty gone, and it's much gone at that particular high altitude. And believe it or not, it was extremely smooth to fly up at that flight altitude, because we're probably one of just a few aircraft that are actually flying at that high altitude. But it was amazing. I got to interview so many of the scientists on board that are doing real serious scientific research. And this is also set up for teachers, and that's a great thing. So many teachers, and I'm sure many people watching right now who have even maybe been on SOFIA, they have a very serious program for teachers and an outreach program so that they can take, like what we're doing this morning, back to the classroom. Because as we all know, those children are our future scientists.
We've actually had a teacher locally come on and talk about her experience after she was able to do that. And yeah, I mean, talk about a firsthand account to be able to teach your students what you've seen.
So it's not one of the flights where you're weightless. I mean, a lot of people ask me, did you feel weightless? And I said, no, it's a little different. But again, that 747 SP that was, redone by NASA, they probably put about $1 billion of taxpayers' money in there. So it's kind of like a secondary Hubble telescope in a way. That's what I like to call it.
Dr. Sky, always great talking with you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
How can people see what you saw?
They can go to drsky.com and just check us out there. And we have so many events around the valley, and of course our radio shows here locally, KTAR and Coast to Coast AM, which we're on all the time. And we appreciate the support that you folks give us in talking about the wonders of the nighttime sky.
Thanks, Dr.
Great seeing you,
Sky.
Dr.
Good
Sky.
to see you.
It's a pleasure.